So did Blue Lock Season 2 only have good animation for the final episode and the rest of the season was just still frames? Well, the answer is no, because there were multiple episodes with good animation and there was a lot of movement throughout the season, so let's debunk this take. So let's take a look at this whole entire season, starting off with episode 1. And episode 1 was a great episode of Blue Lock. There was no soccer going on, so they didn't need much animation. This was a basic anime episode that had a bunch of dialogue, so there was no need for a bunch of animation, so this was a great episode. And then we get on to episode 2, and I will say half of this episode was great, and then the other half was mid or bad. The first half of this episode was mostly talking, and then the second half was just a soccer game, and the animation was not that good, so the second half was not the best. So episode 2 was half good, half bad. And then we get to episode 3, and I'll say it, the animation was kind of mid. There were issues, there were still frames, so I can't defend it, but there was actually movement throughout the episode. So far, 1.5 episodes have been mid. And then we get to episode 4, and this was a good episode of Blue Lock. This was just a standard episode of Blue Lock. There was good animation here and there was still frames here and there, but this was the same quality as season 1, so it was good. And then we get to episode 5, and this was a great episode. This was a heavy dialogue episode with good animation and visuals, and it's the same quality as season 1, so this was a good episode. There was a lot of dialogue, so of course they're going to use a lot of still frames in this episode. It happens for every anime. And then we get to the 6th episode, and the first half of this episode was great, and then the second half was not the best. The direction is always good in the show, but especially for the first half of this episode, I was so excited to watch this game. And the second half had bad animation, and I'll admit it. It wasn't the best, but there was still movement, so whoever said it was all still frames is completely wrong again. So I'll say 2 episodes so far have been mid, and I can accept that. And then episode 7 and episode 8 were the last mid episodes of the season completely. After that, episode 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14 had good animation, and they were some of the best in the entire series of Blue Lock. Everybody is saying Blue Lock Season 2 only had 1 good animated episode, but look at these last 5. Like, people just want to hate so hard. Like, I get it, there were still frames throughout the season, but not every episode was bad. These last episodes had some great moments of animation. Not everything was moving all the time, but there were some great moments, and people just want to hate. So I've come to my conclusion, only 4 out of the 14 episodes of Blue Lock Season 2 were actually mid. So whoever said that Blue Lock Season 2 only had good animation for 1 episode and everything else was still frames, you're completely wrong. Blue Lock Season 2 is extremely overhated, but let me know, guys, what you think. Do you agree? Do you not agree? Just let me know.